All right, all right. Welcome into week two of Jimmy and Jake's excellent USL adventure. Jake, how we doing, bud?
Well, it's fun to be here with you. We moved the recording up a day because again, El Paso is having its beautiful exotic weather. 29, 29 miles per hour winds, with low visibility from the dust. It got a little hard to breathe at work today. But it's all good because we get to come in and we get to talk some USL.
Absolutely, yes, yes, and a lot of really good games from last weekend. We're gonna go on our excellent journey here, and Jake, you got the lion's share of the games this week. So, where are you taking us to first for week two?
So we are heading to One Oak Field in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where Tampa came to town and took on Tulsa. This game finished 1-0 in favor of Tulsa. This is the second match in a row that Tampa has had 60% of the ball, over 9 shots. They had 20 versus Las Vegas and scored 0 goals. So something going on in Western Florida. Um, Tulsa, on the other hand, becoming a very, very good defensive team, allowed 0 goals in their last 2 matches, both 1-0 wins, which brings me to the question, is manager Luke Spencer the new Jose Mourinho? Tulsa's commentary team, I got to watch this game as it was happening. Super, super fun. David Saunders, their lead commentator, is terrific. If you get a chance to watch a Tulsa home game, a lot of these USL teams have really, really great commentary teams. David Saunders is part of that. Um, Throughout this game, one of the things I noticed, Tulsa super smart counterattack, and really long, really, really smart long balls when the situation arises. Um, Tampa throughout this game struggled to put any sort of power on their shots, struggled to get shots on target. The lone goal was by Patrick Segrist off a corner in the 73rd minute. Just sort of a bad play. The goalkeeper, Dante Campisi, just bad play by him, and Segrist is able to slide it home. And then solid team defending by Tulsa to finish it out. Just a lot of movement by their back line, getting in front of shots. Just awesome teamwork from those guys. I've liked what I've seen defensively from Tulsa. And that's it for that. Where are you taking us, Jimmy?
All right, yeah. So, selfishly, I'm gonna go right into the Detroit City FC game. I was really excited for this game. They were on the road for the second straight week. We're going to Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC. They play at Widener Field, where they won the championship last year at home. At Widener Field is a beautiful soccer-specific stadium. It is turf. Holds 8,000 at capacity. And interesting note, it is the uh, stadium at the highest elevation level in the United States soccer system. So kind of a cool side note. But this was a fun game. They right after the 0-0 at halftime, right after the second half starts, uh, Hanya turns Villanueva, runs down the side, gets a shot in, rebounds off Tejadas right there to bury it. Colorado Springs goes up 1-0. And then Detroit City is just kind of grinding, playing their pacey game. They end up, I think it was Stephen Carroll played a long ball across, kind of bounces in between the defender and Darren Smith and the goalkeeper. And Darren Smith beats all of them to it, pokes it through, gets his first goal for DCFC. And then in the 81st minute, they get an own goal, kind of caused by the chaos by Guendouzi. Sorry, not Guendouzi. Guenzati, excuse me. It was in there. Kind of didn't really claim it, but caused the goal to happen. So for Colorado Springs playing at home, it was their home opener after winning the championship last year. Kind of disappointed with the tie in El Paso last week. Um, they had 13 shots, 4 on goal, 60% possession. DCFC only had 6 shots, only 2 of those on goal. Um, two players I really wanted to note. One for Colorado Springs, I already mentioned him, was Yosuke Hanya. He's a player on loan. He played college at UMass. And he had he kind of set up, like I mentioned, the goal for Colorado Springs. Really exciting player to watch. And then the other player I mentioned already was Darren Smith. His first goal. He's South African. Came from the Finnish league where he had scored 17 goals in 53 games. So kind of an interesting player as Detroit City continues uh, their long adventure to find how to create some goals. So, all right, going from that game, Jake, where are you taking us next?
So we are headed to South Texas. We are going to San Antonio Toyota Soccer Field. It's a soccer specific stadium, seats 8,296. Interesting fact about this stadium, from what I've read about them, is technically the stadium is considered in phase one. They built the stadium to be added upon later. I'm not sure if that's in hopes of Division One status, but eventually Phase 3 is expected to seat around 18,500 people. So this was a sort of a dead even match, despite San Antonio winning 2-0. San Antonio had more shots, 12-6, and shots on target, 3-1. Lots of fouls in this match. San Antonio had 17, Pittsburgh had 20. 2 yellow cards for San Antonio, 4 for Pittsburgh. Extremely windy during this game. There's been a lot of wind going through Texas right now. I would know that. In regards to San Antonio's goalkeeper, very, very talented guy, Richard Sanchez. One thing, if anyone's seen Generation Kill, Police, that mustache, that thing is fucking huge. Goal from Jorge Hernandez, super well worked. Possessions regained. There's a short pass to Jimmy Madrang, who turns it into just a cruise missile. Hernandez kind of catches it on his shoulder, and through catching it on his shoulder, sort of dekes the keeper who's come out for him, and he just knocks it into an empty net. Game goes on to the 88th minute. Alex Grieve, who I'm just sort of learning about this season, paying more attention to him. That guy is good. Just weaves through traffic, takes on essentially 3 guys at once, goes through 2, dodges another, lays it off to Luke Hackinson for just a super easy tap in. And then after that, San Antonio closes up the shop and shuts down Pittsburgh for a clean sheet. And that's all I got for that one.
Nice, yeah, absolutely. That was I did see the highlights of that one. I enjoyed that game, honestly. All right, from there we are going to back down to Miami and Pitbull Stadium. Miami playing host for a second week in a row, playing against Indy 11. Indy 11's first game of the season. So little side note about Miami. They are actually officially known as the Miami FC. They've played in. They started in the North American Soccer League, played in the NPSL, NISA, then the USL Championship in since 2020. And then I found it interesting. I actually didn't know this, but Alessandro Nesta was actually their first coach. He's now the coach for Monza and Serie A, but he coached the first 2 years in NASL for the Miami FC. So that's kind of crazy. And then I also didn't know this, but so the rights for Miami FC in the USL Championship were bought from Ottawa Fury FC. I did not know that USL Championship had Canadian teams. That was actually the first time I found out about that. So learning something new every day. All right, but anyway, this game, Indy 11, 3-1, really crushed Miami early on. They got 3 goals early from Jack Blake in the 3rd minute, Quinn in the 18th, and Hogan in 35th. Blake's was a PK in the 3rd minute, but they just absolutely peppered Miami's goal the first 35 minutes. former USMNT goalkeeper Bill Hamid is the goalkeeper now in Miami. And honestly, he did a great job. He made 5 saves, and some really good ones. But I mean, they were just the defense was really really poor. But I want to say hats off to Miami. They did at least um, you know after those 3 goals, they did shut it down. They ended up getting one in the second half in the 65th minute from Hoyos. So Miami ended up having eight shots total, 5 on target. They had 60% of the possession. Indy had 11 shots, 8 on target, 40% possession. I think most of those shots came, like I said, in the first 40 minutes. Indy was really quiet in the second half. Just want to mention the 2 players I already did before, but Bill Hamid, he's a former USMNT goalkeeper and friend of the show, Maryland Bobcat. So he played
Yeah.
4 games with the Bobcats. And then for Indy 11, Jack Blake, he was a Nottingham Forest youth player. He has 19 goal involvements in 57 games for Indy, but he's a big part of what they did last year. I think he had 10 goals last season. So look to see him really drive Indy as they push for the playoffs again this season. All right, where are we going, Jake?
We are headed to Northern California for a sort of Northern California derby. Oakland Roots came to visit Monterey Bay. The game took place at Cardinal Stadium. It's a soccer-specific stadium at Cal State University. Has a seating capacity of 6,000. Monterey went on to win this game 3-2. In my notes, I have 5 goals! Exclamation point. A lot of scoring in the USL this year. If you like goals, this is going to be the league for you. Super, super fun game. Oakland actually opens up the scoring in the 45th minute. A header by Camden Riley, assisted by Jose Sinistera. There's going to be some hard names to pronounce throughout this week for me. I don't know what it was about the Western Conference. There's some wild names. Sinistera is a baller, though. If you get a chance to watch him for Oakland, that guy gives us fits every time he comes to town.
I did want to make a note that there was a player that I was writing down earlier and I wasn't sure, but I clicked on the highlight, and actually on the highlight packages, if you're looking for that player's name, they actually have all the clips broken up and named on the clips. So like if you're looking for that player, you just kind of scan, oh, there's that player, and then you just listen to hear him say it. So that's how I was learning how to say names for the show this week.
Yeah, there's some that like I've worked on. Like we're gonna get to a foul or later on, that a guy that no matter how many times they say it, I still think I'm butchering it. And then what would have been the goal of the week had El Paso Phoenix not taken place. Mayele Malongo, just an absolute beauty. Coming in off the left wing, off his right foot. The thing just floats, curls right into the corner. Oh, from the gods. It was gorgeous. And then in the 65-minute, Monterey goes up 2-1 off a penalty finished by Elijah Powell. The penalty was given after Nabil Hackshaw fouls. This is the name. Javi Nalati brought him down in the box. Bad foul. And then Monterey ends up going up 3-1 in the 69th minute. Anton Horup gets a goal assisted by Grant Robinson. Just coming down again the left side, just a perfect cross to Horup, who's just completely unmarked on this run, just all by himself. Super easy goal. Oakland tries to get back in it. Jose Sinistera shows up on the stat sheet again. He gets a goal assisted by Peter Wilson. And then just a really, really dumb play. Joel Garcia of Monterey gets shown red. Just a moment of frustration off a ball goes dead, and he ends up kicking it at a player who's kind of like sitting with his back to him. Ball goes off the back of the guy's head. Instant red. Dumb. Monterey's able to hang on, down to 10 men and win this game 3-2. But yeah, I know Garcia is going to be kicking himself for missing out on the next game.
So, I did watch like the highlight package for that one, but the one note I was gonna say is I did see of all places on LinkedIn the clip of that bending goal
Yeah.
off the right foot. I can't remember what the guy's name was, but I saw that clip on LinkedIn because that guy's agent had posted the video and it was like talking about like how like what a success that guy's been, and
Yeah.
a friend of the show, Mike Steenstra, like liked it on LinkedIn, and that's how I saw it. So there's my old man story of the day. All right,
I get my soccer
so
clips from LinkedIn.
yeah, there you go, buddy. All right, so from LinkedIn, we're going on to North Carolina FC versus at home against Loudoun United FC. Um, So we did have a home game for North Carolina last week. So a little some fun little trivia about them. So they were actually founded as the Carolina Railhawks in 2006, and then they were renamed in 2016 when they were trying to attract MLS to get a MLS franchise. And I got to tell you, now that I know that they were the Carolina Railhawks, I really would like them to go back to that. But that's just me enjoying fun names. Anyway, so they started in USL and they played from '06 to '09, and they played in the NASL from '09 to 17, and then USL from USL like Division One championship from 17 to 21. And then they did drop down for 2 seasons to USL League One from 22 and 23, and they did win the title in 23 over Charlotte Independence. So they did come back last season, made the playoffs. They're a team that historically has been around for a long time in one shape or another. Um, yeah, just a little some fun facts, I guess. But they did end up losing this game to Loudoun 2-1. We had North Carolina actually got the first goal from Mensingen in the 32nd minute, and then Loudoun scored right before the half with Boogaloo in the 40th minute, and then in the second half, Bedoy in the 63rd minute gets a goal to get the win for Loudoun. North Carolina FC had 13 total shots, 3 on target, 54% of the possession. Loudoun FC had 10 total shots, 5 on target, 46% of the possession. Two players from the teams that I noticed when you watch the game. The first one for North Carolina was Rodrigo da Costa. In USL Championship, he's got 182 appearances, 54 goals. He's been around a long time. He's an exciting player. That left foot's magical. He's got a good touch. He's a joy to watch. And then for Loudoun FC, I want to note Florian Bello. He's got 2 assists on the season. Last season, he had 4 goals, 5 assists for Loudoun. Talented player. He's had some experience in MLS. French player, but he tends to be in and around the goal, and he's going to be a big part of what Loudoun is building so far this season with 2 wins to open up the year. So, Yake, where are we going next?
We're going to Sin City. Las Vegas welcomed New Mexico United in and ended up losing to them 3-2. Sort of even in possession. New Mexico had 63%. Well, not exactly even, you know what I mean, but 63% of the ball. A lot of this game could be chalked up to Las Vegas fucking up. That's pretty much what it was. 52nd minute, Mackenzie Gaines ends up scoring. That's just based off of bad clearances in the defensive end. And then pretty much in a replay, bad defending, bad clearance by a goalie, bad clearance by a defender. Marlon Vargas working his ass off, ends up picking the pocket of a defender, lays it off to Greg Hurst, who is becoming a pain in the ass for defenses now. Scores his second goal in as many games. New Mexico ends up going up 2-0. In the 72nd, in the 72nd minute. Can't even talk today. A beautiful lob from Valentin Noel gets finished off by Johnny Rodriguez for Las Vegas. They get within 2-1 at that point. Johnny Rodriguez is a baller, man. Everything I've seen from this game, he looked really sharp until pretty much the end of the game where he ends up whiffing one. In the 90th minute, Joe Zhao scores a beautiful goal to tie it 2-2. And then, unfortunately for them, there was way too much stoppage time left. In the 95th minute of stoppage time, Will Seymour ends up scoring off an almost Olympico, sort of. It's weird. The ball kind of comes, and it almost looks like it goes in, but then it ricochets down, and he's just waiting there for it and kicks it into the top of the net. And New Mexico United steals a win like the thieves that they are. New Mexico is really, really good. It's making me kind of mad, honestly, to actually have to cover them in this way. They're damn good. And it's going to suck for anybody to play them. Sky's the limit for them. I wish it wasn't, but New Mexico is really, really good. And that's all I got for that one.
I didn't know until I was like reading the other day that so Nocerino is the player Nocerino who played for AC Milan, and like then he played in MLS for a little while too. But Antonio Nocerino, like, and he also coached at Miami, I think last year.
Oh, okay.
But I hadn't made the connection that the coach and the player were the same person. So kind of interesting. It is cool to see some of these like former players coaching in this league. I think it's kind of a cool breeding ground for coaches that way.
Yeah.
All right. From there, we're going to go back down to Charleston, one of my favorite places. They were at home against Rhode Island FC. So we've already been to Patriots Point, but a little bit about Charleston. They were founded in 1993, and they are the oldest continually run club in the United States. They have 4 titles across multiple leagues: the USISL in 1996, USL-A in 03, USL second division in 2010, and then the USL Championship in 2012. And they lost the U.S. Open Cup final to DC United in 2008. But that was pretty cool. They almost won that. But really, they took a loss last week at home to start the season against a very good Louisville City FC team. This week, it's Rhode Island's first game, but Rhode Island beat them in the Eastern Conference Finals last year. So Charleston looking for a little bit of revenge. Really dominated this game. Cal Jennings made his loud, welcome to Charleston, announcement here with 2 goals in the 15th minute and 37th minute. Charleston had 11 total shots on target, 47% of the possession. Rhode Island, 11 total shots, only 2 on target, 53% of the possession. I mean, the stats don't really tell the story. Rhode Island looked rusty. They weren't able to start JJ Williams. Him being healthy is a big part of what was good for them last year, and I'll talk about him in a minute. But they also incorporating Maxi Rodriguez, so they have a lot of on the ball guys, and so getting used to some of those dynamics. You could tell it was their first game, so it's a tough loss, but they move on. They'll be fine. 2 players I did want to note. One for for Charleston. I've already talked about Cal Jennings, so I'm not going to go there. But I did want to mention their center back and their captain, Leland Archer. He's played over 168 matches now for Charleston Battery. He's their captain, defensive anchor. They've been the last 2 years, anyways, one of the best defenses in the league, and he's a big part of that. So definitely, when you play Charleston, I got to watch out for. And then the other guy I mentioned for Rhode Island was JJ Williams. Again, he didn't start this game, but last season, 11 goals, 7 assists. Rhode Island last season had 14 wins when he was in the lineup, and only 1 win when he was not in the lineup. So like, he's very important for them and what they did to get to the finals last year. So another guy to watch. He's a huge player, really soft feet, but he's like 6'4". He's an out and out striker. Really fun to watch. So.
All right. So we are going to go to my second to last match. We're heading out to Orange County. They welcomed Lexington to Championship Soccer Stadium in Irvine, California. It's a 5,000 seater. I believe there's a lot of standing room as well. They're one of the stadiums that I always get jealous of when I see them. Them in Sacramento, I think they have really, really well built stadiums for the crowds that they're going to get and like the type of noise that they want at these games. This was a fun match with a screwy ending, and I feel bad because of who it happened to. So in the 9th minute, Ryan Dogman ends up laying in a cross for Grayson Duty, who heads it home for a goal. The best part of it was Orange County's commentary team going, Duty, as the ball goes in, which made me chuckle because I'm a mature person.
Right.
In the 45th minute +1, so going into stoppage at the end of the first half, Jack Beer collects a turnover in Orange County's box, lays it off to Braudilio Rodriguez, who finishes it off. We go into the half 1-1. Coming back out of this, Lexington starts off hot. Kieran Sargent, who I need to look up and see if he is related to the U.S. men's national team striker. It's always a possibility. I know a lot of younger brothers have come through this league. Plays a cross into the box. Marcus Epps shoots it, and the ball's deflected in for a goal. Another one of those situations the defender tries to get in the way, right off the calf. The Orange County goalie can't do anything about it. 2-1 Lexington. And then this is when we come to the controversial part of the game. Just a bang play. Ball goes in. This is 90 +7. Like right at the end of the game, they're just throwing balls in. Logan Ketterer makes a point blank save, comes down on it. His hands, it looks to me like he has both hands. He posted something on his Instagram that makes it look a lot like he has both hands on that ball. Mamadou War sort of just pokes it out of his hands and ends up putting it home for the game-tying goal. I know a lot of people are crying for VAR, but this is just kind of the fun you get to have in USL, so enjoy it. We don't want to.
It's magical.
Yeah.
That's way more fun to argue about than like just the joy sucking that VAR is. So yeah, certainly by all means, like don't go calling for that. But like, yeah, it's part of what makes this league fun is stuff like that.
And we'll talk about it later down the road. My team got away with something that VAR would have called back. So it's you win and you lose. It's just all part of the fun of this soccer league. And yeah, I enjoyed the hell out of this game. Lexington is a fun club. Logan Ketterer is going to make any team good. It's really, really fun to see him back at this level where he dominated for Locomotive. He is a good keeper. Just don't ask him about his political opinions. Orange County as well. Very, very fun team. The Western Conference is shaping up to be a battleground. So that's it for that one.
Absolutely. All right. So my last one, we're going back down to Birmingham, and Birmingham Legion hosted Louisville City FC. This game ended up being a 1-1 draw. But before we get to that, we already talked about Birmingham. They play at UAB's football stadium, but just a little bit about the club. They've only been around since 2017. One of their biggest wins, if you will, was in 2023. They beat Charlotte FC of MLS in the United States Open Cup. And then last season was the first time that they've ever missed the playoffs. So they're looking to kind of bounce back from what's really was a down season for them. So for them to get a draw against a Louisville City, a team that's really good, is a great result. So it started with Perez for Louisville-C getting a goal in the 30th minute. They really kind of dominated the run of play, and then kind of again just let the gas off, like the foot off the gas, and Ronaldo Damas from Birmingham scores right at the end of the half, go 1-1 into halftime, and then it's just kind of a nothing game in the second half. Total stats: Birmingham had 10 shots, three on target, 44% possession. Louisville City had 11 shots, six on target, and 56% possession. So uh, hats off to the Birmingham keeper, getting five saves. But really, Louisville was really missing Wilson Harris in this game. So two players I wanted to note. What the first one for Birmingham was Ronaldo Damas. He's on loan from a club in Sweden, but he is no stranger to USL Championship. I think in 2021 for Orange County, he had like 18 goals. In uh, in 2023, he had 15 goals for the San Diego Loyal, and then last year in the championship season for Colorado Springs, he had 12 goals. So he's a very prolific goal scorer in this league. He's going to make a big difference for Birmingham. And Birmingham's issue isn't going to be can they score goals. It's going to be can they stop the team from scoring. But they showed signs of improvement from last week against Loudoun. The other player I wanted to mention for Louisville City was Zach Duncan. He's an Aussie center defensive mid. Played last season in Memphis before they folded, but a really really tough player. He had the assist for Perez's goal. Really commands that midfield. It's one of those under the radar smart buys that Louisville or pickups, if you will, that Louisville makes. That keeps them, in the top three conversation in the East year in and year out. So um, he's going to be a very good player. He's going to really drive that team forward this year. So, all right, take us to the last game. I know where we're going.
Oh, we're headed to the borderland, my hometown of El Paso, Texas. This game took place at Southwest University Park. It is a baseball park for the El Paso Chihuahuas, the AAA affiliate of the San Diego Padres. 75,000 seats, but it also sits more with standing room only areas as well as a sort of grass field in the outfield area. Phoenix came to town, and we ended up drawing 4-4 in a game that should not have ended 4-4. I want to give a shout out to Duke Keith, who I don't remember if I did last show, but I want to, anytime I could sing his praises, best in the business. He's been calling UTEP athletics like a local legend. Anyone in the DMV that's listening, he's El Paso's Johnny Holiday. The guy is the man. So starting off great. I was texting you guys throughout this until I ended up having to go to a movie with my wife, but ended up watching the second half later. 6-minute, Roberto Avila scores a rocket off a volley, off a failed corner clearance. In typical USL fashion, bang, bang play. Ball gets kind of headed out, and he just connects with this thing. Good Lord. Beautiful goal. Got me onto my feet, that shot. And then 34th minute, Armando Moreno, who is having a hell of a season, gets the ball from Memo Diaz. The keeper saves. But sort of, he's kind of coming down, catches the ball while he's landing on his side. Armando Moreno pokes it out of his hands. This is the play I was talking about earlier that VAR probably would have canned. He pokes the ball out sort of as a slide tackle, pops back up, shoots it into an open goal. 2-0 El Paso. And then to finish out the half, 45 plus 3, Phoenix gets one back. A really, really good corner from Hope Avayev and Noble Okello just raises up The guy's already 6'5", 6'5" Canadian, by the way. He's already 6'5", but the guy just goes into the effing stratosphere, goes all the way up, over, heads it in. Jamali Wade had no chance on it. But to open up the second half, Locomotive started hot. Roberto Avila plays a ball across the box. He's aiming for Moreno, who's running onto the ball. Moreno gets caught up in a defender's legs. They both go down, but Gabriel Torres is there and able to slot it home, scores a goal against his former club. I wonder how the Phoenix fans feel about it. I used to have all the opposing fans on my Twitter, so I could see everyone's reaction. On Blue Sky, it's a little harder. I don't know how happy they would be with the way he celebrated that goal, but it was at home, so whatever. And then what would have been the goal of the game at 53 minutes, bad clearance again on a corner kick, allows for a bicycle kick goal from Armando Moreno. Just a beauty. That guy is good. Came to us from New Mexico United. He probably made the wrong choice, but in my heart, he made the right choice to come hang out with us.
Leading the USL Championship, Moreno.
Yeah.
3 goals already on the season.
Insane. Finishes off his brace with this. Just a beautiful, clinical bicycle kick. So we keep this in mind. We are up 4-1 at this point. All right. Bad in 69th minute. Bad clearance by Wahab Akwe. Colin Smith is able to recover it. Assists Remy Cabral into the lower left. Bad defending all over. It was a bad clearance by Akwe. When Smith sends the ball back in, Akwe is on Cabral at that point, does a bad job. He's able to turn and score. 86, so then now that's 4-2. 6 minute. Isan Sako gets fed. Beautiful ball from Avayevu. He had 2 assists. Just a really, really good counterattack by Phoenix, coming right down, gets it on the right side, scores a goal. Jamali Wade can't do crap about it. And then in the 86th minute, literally taking Armando Moreno's goal of the week away and probably winning goal of the season for USL and maybe even a Puskas. It's just Phoenix shoots it. A defender blocks a shot. It goes really long. Armando Moreno locks onto the ball, takes a heavy touch into pretty much the end of our half. And then Mohamed Traore, just without even really thinking about it, he just the heavy touch comes. Traore one-times it off that touch and sends it from inside the middle circle on our end over and out of position Jamali Wade's head and in for a goal. Just a super, super long goal. Ridiculous. The score is tied 4-4. What the fuck just happened? Everything kind of goes off the rail at that point. Jeroma ends up seeing red. And then there was another red card. I'm still not quite sure about what exactly happened with that. Another player got a red, but I don't really remember seeing it happen during the game. I don't want to get, especially trying to do this show as a fan of one team. I don't want people to think that I'm just going to blame refs or whatever. It wasn't that great of a refereed game. I don't think that's the reason we lost. But I will say this. This comes from Phil Bakke from Seriously Loco, from his Blue Sky account. El Paso had 12 fouls, 4 yellows, 2 reds. Phoenix had 17 fouls, 0 yellows. So I'm not saying that's the reason they ended up drawing. That's absolutely not the reason. El Paso screwed up, but there was a weird officiating thing going on with that. I really don't know what else to say about this game, but get it together. That was ridiculous. Up 4-1 at home and you blow it. Jesus.
Oh, how very Jose Mourinho of you to blame the referees. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. All right. We were a little long-winded today, but that's gonna happen from time to time. All right. So what was the thing you were tracking? Player of the week? Is that what you got?
I have the Jake Kenneke Player of the Week.
There we go. Let's hear it.
All right, my player of the week was going to be Amando Moreno, but again, I don't want to be accused of being a homer. And his team ended up drawing 4-4 after being up 4-1 at home. So my player of the week is Cal Jennings, Charleston Battery, with his brace in a win over a talented Rhode Island squad. Congratulations, Cal. The award is on its way to you.
Yeah, it's in the mail for
Yeah.
sure. All right, and then for me, tracking, Golden Gloves for the season. We're down to, or we're up to just our first place right now. It goes to Johan Penaranda for FC Tulsa. He's up to 2 shutouts now, 5 saves on the season. Um, very deserving, big part of their surprising start, if you will, for the season. I did want to at least shout out Matt Van Okel. Um, he's got 10 saves and only 2 goals allowed, so honorable mention for Matt. But yeah, right now Penaranda is leading the Golden Glove. All right, so some quick notes. If you happen to find us on YouTube, go over and check us out on Beyond the 90s Substack. On there, we do have power rankings that we update each week. So with like some notes from the games and then some upcoming games on the schedule. So check that out, and then subscribe here, and go check out Jake at Blue Sky. I guess Jake, what's the Blue Sky account, bud?
You follow me on Instagram too. I post reels from that on here as well. One thing I'd like to end with, it's US Open Cup time. The powers that be, cough cough MLS, Don Garber has been trying to screw with this competition for a while now. If you have a chance to go to one of these games, go. I am going to attempt to go to watch the first ever US Open Cup home game at Southwest University Park, playing against a team called Harpo's. I believe they're from Colorado. They're like a beer league team or something. But if you have a chance to go, doesn't matter who's playing. If they're around you, go check it out. Those games are great. And then also it's Derby week coming up for my boys. We're going to go to Albuquerque and hopefully not get embarrassed.
Should be fun. We'll check in next week, Jake. Till then, buddy.
All right, later.